One questions I get is, Jen, how do you find your niche? I love doing A, B, C, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, and I don't know what to pick as my niche. Well, don't worry, I got you. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am your host, Jen Morilla, and this YouTube channel is for coaches, service providers, and small business owners who are trying to grow on social media. If that is you, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that bell so you get notified every time I drop a video. And if you're coming back, well, it's good to see you and I'm glad that you're here. Today, I'm gonna be diving deep into the 3 tips for finding your niche on Instagram. So if it sounds like you're having trouble picking your niche, then keep watching because I'm gonna teach you how to show up as your whole authentic self. Let's do this. So the first step you wanna take when you're trying to figure out your niche on Instagram is understanding your long-term vision. This requires a little bit of journaling, a little bit of in-depth conversation with yourself, really deciding what does the long-term vision look like, right? What kind of business, what kind of brand am I trying to create? What's my 3-year, 5-year, my 10-year plan look like? And really ask yourself, ultimately, what kind of business, what kind of brand do I want to be? Do I want to be a small local business or do I want to be a big time name brand? Like, what are all these things to consider? Do you always want to be working in your business or do you want to create something and then like 100% let it run by itself? All of these factors are going to affect the direction in which you take your niche. Once you've gotten a good handle on what your long-term vision is, where you really want to take your business, the next thing you want to do is decide the path you're going to take. Now, let me rewind a little bit here and share something with you guys. A few weeks ago, I saw a video by my buddy, Gary V, and I've only met him like once, but anyways, we're like best buds. I digress. So he was talking about the idea around niching and the benefits of creating something that is way more generic in a category, like niching down, or niching down with your own personal brand, aka you, which is ultimately what Gary V has done, right? He has built a business around himself. The reason why some people would build a personal brand versus a brand on a specific topic or category is because when you build a brand around yourself, you're creating a human connection. And it becomes a lot easier for people to know, like, and trust you. That's really the bottom line between having a personal brand. And it gives you the autonomy to be able to talk about different things along the line, that not just focusing on one specific thing. And I'm gonna share more about this later on as we continue in this video, but that's one of the points that he made, that he specifically was like, you can choose to niche down and niche down with a specific category or a very specific topic. So maybe you do healthcare and maybe your specific topic is like hormone health for women, right? Or you create a personal brand like myself and you talk about social media marketing and being an entrepreneur and mindset and all the things, right? So while it's still very broad, it's still very niche focused because you're still coming to me. And I just want to say there's absolutely nothing wrong with choosing either or. There is no right and wrong. It really just is a personal preference. And something to really consider when you're niching down is you want to pick something you're really good at and that you love to do. Because the truth is that we probably like a lot of things, but are we really good at things? So another good example I use all the time is I love surfing. I would never teach anybody to surf. The likelihood of someone drowning is greater. So we just wouldn't do that. However, I love social media and I love teaching people how to build businesses using social media. So this is what I do, right? I love marketing. I love coaching. So that's my niche and that's what I focus on. If you're choosing a topic or a category, you just want to make sure it's your zone of genius, that people are going to see the work that you're putting out or whatever it is that you're creating, and that is your specialty. Now, choosing to become a personal brand might be a little difficult when you're starting, but the results at the end of the line or at the end of the day could be tenfold. And what I mean is, when you're starting out as a personal brand, it could be really difficult because your personal brand is dependent on your community. So the more people that follow you and the more reach you have, the greater your personal brand is, right? And so at first, when you're starting out, that may be a little difficult, but over time, that return on investment is going to be huge. It is literally limitless. So for example, let's start with one of your favorite YouTubers. You probably watch them and they probably are called their actual name, like myself, Jen Morilla. And you're not just watching them because they're delivering certain content, or maybe it is because of that, which is totally fine too. But ideally you're following them because you like their style, you like the way they talk, the way they communicate. You can relate to a lot of their life, their mannerisms, all the things, right? I know a lot of you guys watch me here and you comment below and you're like, you talk fast, you're really funny. Or you follow me on Instagram and you're like, wow, like you're actually pretty cool. Not only do you give great value on YouTube, but you're actually a cool human. So that's the benefit to having a personal brand, is creating that human connection. So another thing to keep in mind when you're niching down, if you're choosing to do a specific topic or a category, is that you're pigeonholing yourself to a very specific group of people, which ultimately when you're starting out is not a bad idea. But what will happen is that you will eventually just hit a glass ceiling, and you'll get to a point where you'll need to pivot, where you can either sustain what you've hit or you can pivot in a completely different direction and change things. And again, none of this is wrong or right. Like either or works. It literally is your preference and where you see your big long-term goals. And when you're niching down as a personal brand, it helps because to start off, it gives you the advantage of being an expert in a specific place. And then eventually over time, you can share your interests like entrepreneurship and mindset, or makeup and beauty, or surfing. There's videos of me surfing on my YouTube channel. You guys can go find that. But that's the idea behind choosing a personal brand or getting really niche down and focusing on a category or a very specific topic. So now that you've understood your long-term vision and you've decided between creating a personal brand or being super specific in a category or a specific topic, that brings me to my third tip. You can change it whenever you want. Something to keep in mind, and I tell my clients all the time because I get this through and through, it's like, Jen, I can't decide on one thing. You ultimately need to decide on the one thing you're really good at. Whether you're choosing to do a category or a specific topic, or you're creating a personal brand, you need to be really good at it and you need to love it, because it is something that you could talk about till you're blue in the face. I love talking about social media. You will never hear me say I hate talking about social media. I love when people hit me up and they're like, how do you do this? Why would you do this? How would you create content? How would you market this? Like, I love marketing. I love social media marketing. I can talk about it till I am blue in the face, ladies and gentlemen. But my personal story did not start out like that. I actually started as a travel blogger and I loved it, but I got to a point in my business where I needed to pivot. And so I eventually changed. If those of you that don't know this, I actually started this YouTube channel as the Social Girl Traveler, and I was a travel blogger, and I created videos around traveling and sustainable travel and purposeful travel. And there's tons of those videos here on this channel that you can all go check out. However, in late December of 2019, I began to pivot my business into teaching people how to use social media marketing to grow their business. And ultimately, I decided that in order for me to really own that and change that, I needed to pivot my name. So I stopped calling myself the Social Girl Traveler and started using my actual name, Jen Morilla. And this is where we are now. So I want you guys to remember that neither of these are wrong or right. And the most important thing is that you pick one thing just to start off for a few months, for a few years, and then eventually you can pivot and change to anything else that you really like. Is it a lot easier when you have a personal brand to pivot? 100%. Is it a little bit more difficult when you create a category or a niche? Yes, but that doesn't mean that you can't just scratch it away and start completely new. Like, it's not a big deal. At the end of the day, I am a firm believer that if you love what you do, people will see that, which means that if you are choosing to niche down as a category or a specific topic or as a personal brand, people will see that you love what you do and that you're good at what you do. So whatever path you choose, just know you have the power to change it whenever you feel like it. All right, you guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Drop in the comments below and let me know what you're thinking about your niche. If you're struggling with this, if you want more videos, more in-depth explanations, I don't know, whatever you guys want, drop it below. I'm always here to serve and support. But until next time, I will see you guys soon. Bye.